Yes, good day, agri student. I welcome you
Yes, good
once
day,
again
students.
to
I welcome
this
you once
E
again to
facilitation.
this
Yes, we are in the sixth week already.
facilitation.
We have gone
Yes, we are
far.
in the sixth week
Last week we were
already.
able
We have
to
gone
deal
far. Last
with
week we were able
the
to deal
topic that
with
says the
the
metabolic or nutritional
topic that says
deficiencies uh,
metabolic or
of our
nutritional
livestock animals,
deficiencies
as well as the plant
of our
poisons
livestock
that
animals, as
affect
well
our
as the plant
animals.
poisons that affect
I need to
our
remind you that
animals.
today's topic
I
will
need
be
to
special.
remind you that
Yes, it will
today's
be
topic
special in the sense
will be
that
special.
we'll be looking at
Yes, it will be special
a
in the sense
topic that
that
deals with the
we'll be looking
Nigerian
at
livestock industry,
a
as
topic
well
that deals
as
with the Nigerian
diseases
livestock industry,
that
as
affect our
well
livestock or can
as
affect human beings as
diseases
well. And so the topic of
that
today
affect our
is
livestock and affect human beings as well. And so the topic of today
the
is
impact
the
of livestock diseases
impact
on
of
the Nigerian
livestock
livestock
diseases
industry
on the Nigerian
and
livestock
their
industry
public health
and
importance.
their public health
Now, after this
importance.
week, we'll only be having
Now,
one
after
month,
this
one
week,
month, one month
only be having
topic to go
one month,
in
one month
this e-facilitation. The last week will be for
in this
revision. That
facilitation.
is in
The
2 weeks'
last week
time.
will be
Therefore, I
for
want you to
revision.
buckle up
That is in 2 weeks time.
and go through
Therefore, I want
all
you to block
that we have been able
and
to
go
treat
through
thus
all
far so that
that we have
that
been able
revision will be
to treat thus
interesting.
far so that
Now,
revision will
we will
be
not waste
interesting.
time today,
Now,
but we want to go straight
we will
to
not
the
waste time
topic,
today.
uh, and I'm
We'll go
sure
straight
you will
to the
enjoy
topic.
the class as
I'm
always.
sure
Once again,
we'll enjoy
welcome
the
you on
class
board.
as always.
Welcome on
Once
board.
again, welcome you on board. Welcome on board.
Yes, you are welcome on board. Uh, as I've told you, the topic of the day is the impact of livestock diseases on the Nigerian livestock industry and their public health significance. Oh, yes, you know my name already, Dr. Abayomi Samuel Bankole, and my email, you can easily reach me through it says bankole@noun.edu.ng. Now, you see a wonderful, beautiful picture on the left of your screen right here. This is simply uh, signifying our topic for today. You see this beautiful picture of wonderful uh, people of the world. White, you see one black man here, two of them. Yeah, but these people, as beautiful as they are, can be affected by different diseases of livestock animals, of course, which can be transferred through birds. You can see birds here, you see mosquito, you see tortoise here, you can see bats, and on like that. Now, to let you know that as human beings, we are in the middle, but every other thing surrounds us and may affect us. So we need to be conscious of that. As we'll be looking at specifically zoonotic diseases today and how serious uh, they can be on the public health end. Yes, let's move on. Let us move. Now, by way of introduction, livestock diseases and the parasites usually constitute a serious impediment to animal productivity in Nigeria. Uh, and disease sharply reduces productivity of livestock, especially ruminants, across the different agroecological zones and production systems in Nigeria. Now, the extent to which a particular disease affects livestock productivity will depend largely on the disease in question, the level of nourishment of that animal, of those animals, and the type of production system practiced. Zoonotic diseases generally are those diseases that affect uh, animals but can be transferable to humans. Therefore, it means they are infectious. Yes, they are infectious. and they can be caused by viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi. Now, wildlife are a reservoir for some zoonotic diseases, and they serve as infection source to grazing ruminants. Zoonotic diseases are common, and the number are constantly increasing due to the discovery of new uh, diseases or emerging diseases. Now, these zoonotic diseases are worldwide, and therefore they pose a threat to the health and welfare of the public. Now, today we have four major intended learning outcomes. Number one, we have to understand disease effects on animal productivity after today's class. And two, you have to recognize the transmission mode of zoonotic diseases. You are also to know the prevention or control measures of these zoonotic diseases. And obviously, you have to identify the public health significance of livestock diseases. Yes, let's move on fast. Let's look at the general effect of livestock diseases on productivity. Now, diseases generally reduce productivity in ruminants or any other livestock animal for that matter. Now, the losses in the productivity usually manifest in several ways. In ruminants, this may include poor weight gain, reduced milk yield, poor feed conversion, poor reproductive capacity. You can even see abortion, low birth weight, reduced work capacity, especially in drought animals, and even death. Now, let's take a few of them. Let's start with these particular effects that livestock disease cause on productivity. And number one is reduction in feed intake and utilization. Yes, in ruminants and animals generally, you will see that the animal go off feed when they come down with a disease, and this usually affects their performance and productivity negatively. Now, some diseases, on the other hand, affect metabolic processes. Oh, yes, we mentioned or we dealt with metabolic diseases last week. You can see how this thing connects. And of course, they have consequent feed utilization reduction when this happens. Oh, yes, furthermore, a reduction in feed intake and utilization can influence the course of a disease. Now, generally, it is accepted that malnourished and undernourished animals are poor in withstanding diseases and or parasites. Of course, if you don't feed your animals properly, they are easily affected by diseases that come around. Just like a human being, if you are not feeding well, you easily come down with diseases. Now, some parasites are causing diseases, such as hermits, also utilize nutrients from digestion meant for the host animal. Therefore, this further compound the animal problem. Number two, let's look at number two general effect of livestock diseases. That is pathophysiological damage. Yes, that this animal causes. Diseases and parasites often cause significant pathophysiological damage to host organs or cells. Some of these pathologies can be extensive. Diseases caused by parasites in the blood, such as Babesia, Trypanosome species. Of course, we have mentioned and dealt with some of these diseases in the past, and they cause destruction of red blood cells, which results in anemia. Yes, of course, you see PNS in such animals. Now, some helminths like Trichostrongylus in the first stage larva cause rapid decline in pack cell volume, and they also cause injury to the abomasal glands. In some ectoparasite conditions, extensive damage to the skin by ectoparasite can lead to a reduction in the quality of the heart and skin. Of course, we are going to see, I'll show you a picture of this particular disease shortly, condition shortly. Number 3, general effect of livestock disease is reduced productivity due to subclinical conditions. An important aspect of effect of disease on productivity is the continuous economic impact of subclinical diseases or parasitism, which is often inadequately quantified. Ruminants with subclinical conditions often have reduced productivity, but because these animals don't show obvious clinical signs, they are rarely given the attention needed. However, they cause serious economic loss to the farmer. Diseases and parasites in ruminants must be controlled to achieve the much desired improvement in productivity. Yes, I just told you I will show you a picture. You can see this unhealthy looking herd of sheep. See their skin being affected maybe by dermatophilosis, and of course you can see where they are feeding, all on dry grass. Nothing nutritional can come out of this. So these animals are not looking healthy at all, and they can easily come down with disease when they strike. So you don't want to keep your animal this way. Yeah. Of course, this is another unhealthy cattle herd. See them all looking pathetic, hungry for food, not really anything to eat. These animals can easily come down with disease conditions. Yes, class activity 1. Yes, that is it right there. Please attend to this class activity. Very, very important. Now, let's go to the mode of transmission of zoonotic diseases. It's one of our major lesson outcome for today. Now, human beings generally acquire pathogens by coming in contact with animals and non-animal products through various ways. Of course, you don't want to tell me you don't know what zoonotic diseases are. I have find them in previous classes more than 2 to 3 times. I've also defined them, zoonotic diseases today. Oh, let me repeat in case you haven't gotten that. Zoonotic diseases are those diseases shared between animals and human beings. As they can affect animals, it can be transferable to human beings, and this can cause serious public health hazard. All right, so you don't want to have zoonotic disease, I'm sure. So you have to keep your animals healthy and free from these zoonotic diseases. Now let's go on. The route of acquiring these pathogens of zoonotic diseases are by 1, inhalation, ingestion, and contact with damaged skin. Now, contact can be with the saliva, the blood, the urine, or feces of an infected animal or contaminated soil. Also, bite from a mosquito or some other vectors can also transmit the zoonosis. Now, the consumption of raw, undercooked meat, unpasteurized milk, or unwashed fruits and vegetables that are contaminated with feces from an infected animal can also be a source of zoonosis. Now, certain professions like farm workers, abattoir workers, meat sellers, veterinarians, wildlife and biologists at higher risk of contracting zoonosis due to constant exposure, uh, especially when unprotected. And because of these interactions, it is important to be aware of the different ways people can get zoonotic diseases. Some zoonotic diseases, once acquired, can also spread from person to person, uh, as was seen with the outbreak of Ebola viral disease in Africa in 2014. Of course, you can remember Ebola disease that affected us in Nigeria. Patrick Eya, that was the man that brought the Ebola from Liberia to Nigeria. You can remember, all right. Now, some examples of zoonotic diseases from ruminants include tuberculosis, anthrax, dermatophilosis, babesiosis, foot and mouth disease, salmonellosis, rabies, and leptospirosis. There are so many of them. Just mentioned a few of them right here. And of course, we have dealt with some of them in the last uh, previous classes. Yes. Oh, yes. This is a graphical description of how zoonotic diseases are transmitted to humans. Oh, it can be by one, vector borne. Oh, yes, by vector borne. A mosquito can give you zoonotic disease. Oh, it can also be by airborne or waterborne. Yes, you can see the arrow going straight to the mouth of this woman. Oh, she must have taken something watery that is contaminated or through her nose. Oh, yes. Now, it can also be, like we said earlier, through proximity or direct contact to animals. Yes, that's number three there. And it can be foodborne, eating directly uh, this contaminated food, probably by taking some diseased chicken and so on and so forth. Let's look at the prevention or treatment of zoonotic diseases just briefly. Just briefly. Prevention and or treatment of zoonotic diseases in animals are similar as with non-zoonotic diseases. Oh yes, not really special. Now, it's important to know that vaccination uh, is key to prevent zoonotic diseases because of how dangerous this disease can be. So it's better you prevent. Prevention is better than cure, we normally say. And of course, proper hygienic practices is important as well. And the use of appropriate drugs for chemotherapy uh, will also suffice to treat zoonotic diseases. But because they are highly dangerous, lot may have been damaged before chemotherapy uh, can be applied, and you don't want to get to that stage. Now, the isolation of the affected animals may also be necessary depending on the particular uh, case as it's being handled. Now, the elimination of the positive pathogens from animal reservoirs will also protect humans, and good sanitation and hygienic practice with food processing and preparation are good ways of protecting humans from zoonosis. All right. Let's look briefly at the public health significance of these livestock diseases. Now, zoonotic diseases are serious threat to public health across the world. Now, the prevention, treatment, and control of zoonosis place a huge burden on healthcare delivery, especially in the developing countries with poor resources. With globalization, food production, international uh, trading in agriculture, and international trade are conditions that affect by zoonosis. Of course, even during this COVID-19, you know a lot as also a zoonotic disease. By the way, you know a lot happened. In fact, we even have to stay indoors. That's how serious zoonotic disease can be. For many months, the whole world was locked down, and that is to tell you we have to prevent zoonotic disease by all means. And of course, like we said, it puts a lot of burden on the healthcare delivery system all over the world. More importantly, in the developing countries where there are not enough resources. Now, because many people come in contact with animals daily, food animals are raised close to homesteads, people must be aware of the various ways zoonotic diseases can be acquired. Now, to give a brief summary, I just got this the global burden of zoonosis on livestock keepers. Yes, now there is a very important report, survey report conducted by the International Livestock Research Institute (ILRI) that shows the animal-borne disease as a major uh, 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 pathway of poverty, because this disease, animal-borne disease called zoonotic disease now, affects 1 billion poor livestock keepers around the world. You can imagine that. You can see pockets of those places affected with this black spot all over, all over, all over. So out of these 7 billion or more people in the world, you can imagine 1 billion livestock keepers being affected directly by zoonotic diseases. That is the great public health importance of these diseases. All right, this is a class activity 2. Yes, yes, yes. I've just given you time to read through there. All right. In summary, what have we done today? Today, you have learned that diseases generally reduce productivity in ruminants and all livestock species through poor weight gain, reduced milk yield, poor feed conversion, poor reproductive capacity, abortion, low birth weight, reduced work capacity, causing drought animal, and death. And we also uh, learned that zoonotic diseases are transmitted from animals to man, or they are common to animals and humans. Now, humans can acquire zoonotic disease by means of bite of a tick or an insect vector, like we described in that particular diagram I brought up, or by handling or eating uncooked or raw meat. So that last picture as well, or coming into direct contact with the blood, urine, or feces of an infected animal. Now, zoonosis poses serious public health threats to humans, as we have learned today, and in effect, prevention and control is extremely important. All right, we shall be stopping here today. Please ensure you constantly visit the virtual learning environment and do your assignments, read through. The instructional videos are available right there. And if you have any question, you can always reach me. I am just an email away. All right. Yes. Till we meet next time, I say